YouTube, what's good? NSDR here with our very first video of the channel. We're going to be looking at the Sig P320 M18. Let's get started. So we're going to unbox it, see what we get. All right, get this nice little case. Let's open it up. All right, so a few things. You get your typical paperwork. This is my receipt just to show that I bought the gun. Manufacturer papers, warranty, etc. Nothing too fancy there. With the Sig, you do get an actual physical manual, which I appreciate a lot. A lot of companies are now just giving you the QR code to download it, but I appreciate it. Sticker, because stickers are always a win. I'll probably put that on something. And the juicy stuff. All right, let's get the gun out. It has a lock in it just to keep it safe. Get these magazines out. And that's that. All right, let's move this out the way and get started. So this is the Sig M18 chambered in the 9mm round. Let's go over some of the specs real quick before we get started. So the barrel is a 3.9 inch in length. It also has a rail for a light or laser. We'll talk about that later. Magazine release, it has a manual safety. We'll also talk about that later. And it comes cut for a red dot. So first thing first, let's make sure it's empty. Drop the mag out, of course. Like to slide back, take this out. Gun is cleared, nothing in there. All right, so what do I think about it? So the reason I got it is I think this looks pretty darn cool. I love the two-tone color. The frame, the bottom part is an OD green, which is one of my favorite colors, hence the gloves. And the slide, though I'm not completely sure, I believe it's flat dark earth, but it looks coyote brown to me, so I'm gonna go with coyote brown. There's that. What else? It has a magazine release, so if you wanted to, when you put the mag in, press it and literally the magazine drops out. Even upside down, it pops up, right? Also, you get 3 magazines. Speaking of that, one 17 rounder and 2 21 rounds. Now, it does depend on when you live, what you're gonna get. In most places, I believe you'll get the 17 and 21s, but in some states, not legal advice, places like New York, maybe Illinois, California, you're only gonna get 10 rounds. And you know that the magazine count is what it is because on the back, let me get that in frame if I can. There are these holes and you see that they're numbered 1 through 17. Let me show you what that looks like in the gun. It's flush, meaning it doesn't extend beyond the grip. So you're able to get most of your hand on there and it not hang off. With the extended 21, it comes down a little bit more, so now you have a little bit more purchase. If I want to bring it up, good to go. What else? It has a manual safety. Now, I know people are mixed on this. Some people want safeties, some people don't. For me, it don't really matter. Like, I guess as long as it doesn't get in the way of my grip, which this one doesn't, it's really small. When I bring the gun forward, I don't notice it. And it is ambidextrous, by the way, for you lefties. If you want to bring the gun forward, hashtag lefties rule, but there's that. And to know that the safety's on, by the way, when it's up, safety's on. When it's down, safety off, right? What else? The rail and the optic. So I do have a rail and an optic, but I'm not going to put that on here now. YouTube is a little funny with those type of things, but I'll give you an example of what that could look like. So here's an example of something. This gun has a light and a red dot. If you're curious to know, this is a Holosun 509T green, and this is the Surefire X300 turbo model, the B. Let me just run that on real quick. Right, you would use this to identify a target, but that is what these could look like on this gun. What else? The trigger. Let's talk about the trigger real quick. Now, I'm not a trigger snob at all, so it doesn't really make too big of a difference how good it is. Now, I can appreciate a good trigger, and I can understand a bad trigger, but to me, as long as it works and it goes bang, I'm not really, complaining about it. Also, it is slightly curved. Let me see if I can get that in frame. And I appreciate that as well. A lot of companies are using flat triggers, and I personally don't like flat triggers, but it's not a big deal either, right? So let me explain this a little bit. So again, we've already cleared the gun, but the trigger has a couple stages. Now, you'll notice when I'm pulling it, you see this movement, right? That's called the travel. At some point, it stops traveling, stops moving. That's called hitting the wall, right? Now, when the trigger breaks, the gun goes bang. Let me explain that. Hear that? That click? That is the break. That's when the gun will fire. So I'm gonna reset the trigger, grab the slide, pull it back, walk it forward. Some people let it go. I don't, but now the trigger resets, right? Let's try it again. Travel, wall, break. Reset it again. I'm gonna do it in one motion this time. It feels really good. I like it. Not a bad trigger so far. We haven't shot it yet, but when we get to the range, we're gonna see how it performs. But all in all, so far, it seems pretty good. It's really lightweight as well. I don't think I mentioned that. So I do think just from the compactness of it and the weight, this will probably be a good everyday carry option, but I don't know yet until we actually get to the range to shoot. So let's get over there and see what it does. All right, y'all, so boom. I'm gonna add a little bit of voiceover to the range trip just because when I'm there, it's a lot of people shooting, and the only way to hear me is by me yelling, and I'm not gonna yell at the range, all right? But the first couple shots are gonna come at 7 yards on a 25 by 17 inch target, and we're gonna start off with the New Republic ammo, 124 grain. All right, so we're gonna stay with the same target, but this time I'm taking it out to 10 yards, and we're gonna shoot Norma. Now, I've had pretty good experience with them in the past, but let's just see how it does.
Attention on the range. All shooters, friendly reminder to that brass out into the range.
All right, y'all, so this is gonna be the final group. This time I'm pushing it out to 15 yards. The first group in the center is gonna be with MagTech, and the second group is gonna be with Underwood plus P plus on the top and left targets.
should have taken a lot more time to make that look better.
Alright, y'all, I just got back from the range, and my thoughts are that I'm really impressed with this. I like it a lot. The gun is very accurate. No complaints about the trigger. It felt really good to shoot. I think this gun handles the recoil very well. And it feels nice in the hands as well. Not too heavy, like I said in the beginning. And overall, I think it's a very solid gun. Really good choice. I'd recommend it to anybody looking to get this. But yeah, so I had a good time shooting it. But those are my thoughts. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.